What's up, fam? It's Tommy Bigg Vic. We back in here with another video. Today we are looking at the top 30 largest U.S. metropolitan areas to run Amazon relay freight. These cities are not in any particular order, but I'm just going to run through them. We're going to take a look and see what the numbers look like right now in those locations. What the rate per mile is, basically how many loads are available. Today is Sunday. A lot of these loads may have been eaten up already by some, by carriers in that area, probably booking out their schedules, or it may still be a lot of loads left in some of those areas, depending on how much the rates are paying. So let's jump right into the video. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button because we're going to drop 30 of them things today. Let's go. So first on the list, we got New York. New York, that's pretty much Manhattan and surrounding. So I have it set within a 100-mile radius so that you guys can get an idea of what other locations, other cities that may pop up around that area. So right here, right now in New York, within a 100-mile radius, we got approximately 224 loads that are available right now. And if you look at some of the rates you see here, this one is showing $6.14, but this load is only going $6.14 a mile. It's only going 60 miles, 23 miles a deadhead to pick up this load right here. This one is picking up out of, where is this? Somerset, New York. 23 miles outside of New York, Manhattan. Got one here, it looks Buff, Lancaster, New York. Buff 5. I'm not sure if that's near Buffalo. Yeah, 281 miles away. That may be near Buffalo. But let me just scroll through some of these so you guys can look at some of these loads here and what they're paying. Out here in Wallingford, Connecticut, it's like 80 miles away. And I do have these set within a 100-mile radius just so you can get an idea of what the loads are looking like in those locations. I won't sit too long on these. I'm gonna just, kind of try to breeze through them really quickly. All right, so next we're gonna jump over here to Los Angeles. And right now in LA, within a 100-mile radius, we're looking at about, what we got? 23 loads available right now. Like I said, it's Sunday, and most of these loads dropped Friday. So carriers are more than likely snatching them up, right? So if you look here, $1.53 a mile. Look at them. I want you to pay attention to the miles and how far some of these loads are away. Let's scroll through here. $2 and change a mile. But there's pretty much like 23 loads available right now in that area. Next, we're going to jump over here to Chicago. Right now, Chicago is looking like 415 loads available on that load board. So if you're out there in that Midwest Chicago area, you probably still eating pretty decent right now. I see one here, $7.83 a mile, but that's only going 27 miles, which is not bad at all for 27 miles, $7.83. Deadhead's not even bad on that 12 miles from, the Chicago area. As you can see, that load went bye-bye. Somebody snatched that up real quick. That's gone already. So a lot of them don't last long, depending on how much the rate per mile is paying and if people are letting those loads increase out there. $4.66 a mile right here. This is how, shout out to Midwest. This is how some of the Midwest box trucking, shout out to Midwest. This is how a lot of guys are able to do 2 and 3 loads out there, especially for some of these shorter runs. And when you've been in that area long enough and you understand the load board and how to book those loads, you can catch those 2 and 3 loads a day out there. For real. Like it's cats don't be capping. They be dead serious, especially if you've been doing it a while and you understand the loads. This is why you guys always hear me say, study the load board in your location, especially if you're in one of those metropolitan areas where the loads are plentiful, So let's go over to the next one. Dallas, Texas. Right now, Dallas got 39 loads sitting on their load board within a 100-mile radius. And if we look here, We got $2.13, $2.34 a mile. It's some these trips going to good ways now. So remember I dropped the other video and I mentioned like how some people can use Amazon Relay that are OTR, like this load right here coming out of Dallas, Texas, going over here to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 224 miles away, right? So more than likely, you might not find a load that's paying you $2.22 a mile going from Dallas, Texas to Oklahoma, right? So you can do a comparison. You can pull up DAT and see what brokers are offering. And you can come over here to Amazon Relay if you have an account and see what that, do a comparison of the rates, right? Especially if you got this load for $2.22 a mile. If you're looking to keep going in that same direction and you see that load available, I'm booking that. Especially I know it's one way and it's not around, that I'm not looking to come back to Dallas. If Oklahoma is in my direction, that's on the truck, right? So right now within the 100-mile radius, there's 38 loads coming out of Dallas, Texas. Next we got Houston. Nothing right now within the 100-mile radius on the Amazon Relay load board. It could potentially, when the loads hit Friday, they probably snatched them up. More than likely, I'm more than sure that's what happened with those. All right, so next on the list, we have Maryland City, Maryland. So what I did for this, I opened this up to a 200-mile radius because what I want to do is try to pick up some of that, DC, Pittsburgh, which with some of that DC, Maryland, Baltimore. Wanted to pick some of that up. So if we look here right now, there are 413 loads on the load board. We kind of look at where the prices are at right now. And we are going out to, this is picking up Lewisberry, Pennsylvania. What else we got? Pittsburgh. Got Northeast Maryland. We got Carteret, New Jersey. What's this picking up? Burlington, New Jersey. See, this load just popped up. $3.54 a mile. That's 121 miles a deadhead though. I did set it to 200. Like I said, I wanted to pick up some more cities within that area. It's picking up some of the tri-states here. All right, so I'm just scrolling through some of the loads here, as you can see. All right. All right, so we're with roughly 413 loads within a 200-mile radius. Next, we're going to hit Miami. I opened that up to 200 miles. No loads showing up right now out there in Miami within the 200-mile radius. Next, we're going over to New Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I also set that to a 200-mile radius just to see how many loads it will pick up. Right here, you see we got 340 loads on the load board. And what's this? This load, this is 200 miles a deadhead picking up from, way outside of New Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 200-mile radius. Let's just look through here, 336 loads. Over here, we're looking at the deadhead miles. 53 miles. Something's picking up NDT5, Lewisberry, Pennsylvania. Let's see here. And over here, of course, you can look at what the rates are. Get an idea of it. Now, keep in mind that anything that had an indication of being peak season numbers for last month, now that we're into January and that phase is over with, you can kind of just get more of an idea of what the loads will particularly kind of look like in those areas, outside of any extra freight that Amazon will get because of the holidays. All right, so now let's go over here to Atlanta. ATL, right now there's only 9 loads sitting on their load board within a 100-mile radius. 9 loads. They, as you can see, they be snatching them loads up out there in Atlanta. And look at where the numbers are at. Look where the numbers are at. $1.33, $2.04, $1.51, $1.85, $1.20. So next we have Phoenix, Arizona. I set this within a 150-mile radius. So out of Phoenix, as you can see, we have 50 loads showing up on the load board. Right now, Tucson, Arizona is popping up. Do have something coming out of Glendale, Arizona. And look at the rates over here. You can get an idea of what the rates are looking like. Let's go over here and look at the deadhead miles. Got one coming directly out of Phoenix. So you got a PHX3 Phoenix, Arizona. That load is going super far, 362 miles going to San Diego, California. Right, so 50 loads coming out of that location. Next up, we have Boston, Massachusetts. So I have this also set within a 200-mile radius. So as you can see, Boston right now, there's 246 loads coming out of that area within a 200-mile radius. So the 200-mile radius is basically deadhead and within a 200-mile radius. So, all right, so as you can see here, we got 246 loads. You look at, we got BOS 5, Staunton, Massachusetts. So that's the closest so far, 11.79 miles from Boston. And you can look at the rates over here and how many miles these loads are to drop off. All right, hopefully I'm not scrolling too fast. You guys can, catch it and see what they look like. Next, we're gonna go over to San Francisco, California. Right now, San Francisco has about 143 loads that are sitting on their load board within a 200-mile radius. You can look at the deadhead miles over here. Deadhead is not too crazy. You got 47 miles. Let's see if there's anything closer. Look like 47 is the closest. Going into Tracy, California. And you can see what the rates look like. They don't look good at all. For my eyes. $2.25, $1.61. I'm seeing a lot of dollars, $2.41, $2.22. But these are what you're gonna be, when you look at the lows like this around this time of the year, it's pretty standard numbers. That's what this numbers are gonna pretty much be for those locations. All right, let's go over to San Bernardino, California. I also have this set within a 200-mile radius. Right now, it's showing 59 loads that are on their load board. Got 17 miles of deadhead for this one. What else we got? 5 miles. Rialto, California. Hopefully I said that right. Hope I didn't butcher that. And you can see what the rates are over here. 2022, 236. Let's see what these rates are looking like. All right, so next we're going over to Detroit, Michigan. I got this set within a 100-mile radius. Over here in Detroit, we're looking at 16 loads that are sitting on the load board right now. Closest one right now looks like 16 miles away. ETW5, that's Brownstown Charter. TWP. Detroit. Got Cleveland, going to Cleveland. Rossford. And you can see what the rates look like over here, rate per mile. $3.21. That's going to Amazon. That's going from Amazon to Amazon. Most of these all look like all of these, except these down here. But most of these are Amazon to Amazon. Y'all know I like those Amazon to Amazons. All right, so let's slide over to Seattle, Washington. So within a 150-mile radius, it's 487 loads showing up right now. Most of these got massive, well, these at the top got a lot of deadhead, 145. But this one right here has 27 miles of deadhead. Fife, Washington. Here's another one, Fife, Washington. $2.26 a mile. Remember, now you got to remember with these Amazon relay loads, they're not round trip. These are all one-way loads, right? All one way. All right, so next on the list, we have Minneapolis, Minnesota. Right now, they're showing 204 results within the 150-mile radius. And what some of the rates are looking like. Scroll through some of these. Not a lot of deadhead. Not a lot of deadhead if you look over here. 11 miles for most of them. But it's showing 204 loads available. Just look at the numbers. All right. Next, we got San Diego, California. 36 loads showing on the load board. 21 miles deadhead, 84 miles of deadhead. Take a look at the rates. Most important thing in moving these loads, deadhead and the rate per mile. Deadhead and rate per mile. So you got San Diego to San Diego. So now a load like this would more than likely this is a round trip load right here. So when you see San Diego coming back to San Diego, that's a round trip load. This load looks like it could be like a contract load, but it's not. It's on the load board. Let's jump over to Tampa, Florida. 3 loads are showing for Tampa, Florida. Right now, within a 200-mile radius, it's picking up Jacksonville. So it's not picking up any loads in Tampa. So you got to ride out 172 miles if you want to even, play ball with any of these loads. But again, it's Sunday. Loads drop Friday. I'm not sure how many loads came out on Friday within a 200-mile radius in the Tampa area, but that's what's showing right now. So don't really take these as face value. So next we got Denver, Colorado. As you can see right now, there's 103 loads within a 100-mile radius. Let's open that up to 150. Still 103 miles within 150-mile radius. Still 103 loads available in the Denver, Colorado area. Not too much deadhead. It's picking up in Commerce City, Colorado. Let's look over here at the rates. Trip miles. See what the rates looking like. See at $3.06. Colorado Springs. All right, so let's go over to St. Louis. Right now, within a 150-mile radius. Shout out to Big Ken out there in St. Louis. Doing his thing out there with Amazon. All right, we got 204 loads on the results within a 150-mile radius. Looking at some of these rates. $3 a mile. Not a lot of deadhead out there. Not a lot. Next up, we got Baltimore, Maryland. So we got this set to I got it set within a 200 mile radius. So we picking up Delaware. As you can see, that's Amazon to Amazon. $3.25 a mile. 56 miles a deadhead. Trip miles 89. Cataract, New Jersey picking up again. What was that? Northeast. Lewisberry, Pennsylvania picking up. Pittsburgh picking up. As you start getting closer to more metropolitan areas, sometimes, it picks up, similar other metropolitan areas if they're close by, like some of the tri-state areas. All right, so right now they got 412 loads within a 200-mile radius outside of Baltimore, Maryland. All right, next we got Charlotte, North Carolina. Within a 200-mile radius, we got 260 loads available out this way. Let me bring this down some to 150. Something more reasonable, because I know nobody's driving no 200 miles to go pick up a load out of Charlotte. So right now we're picking up 43 loads. So this is more realistic right now, because when they drop these loads, they're snatching them up left and right out here. I'm gonna tell you that now. All right, so we got 43 loads that are available. And I believe when they came out, we had about 300 something on Friday. You see we down to 43 today. All right, and you see where the rates are at. The rates is very, very, very spotty out here right now. Very spotty. Unless you're sitting around waiting on the loads that drop on Friday, whenever they do drop them, then you may be able to catch something, decent if you have early access. Other than that, you're getting the leftovers, right? After everybody done picked over the good stuff, you'll be getting the leftovers if you don't have early access. All right, so let's go over here to Orlando, Florida, within the 200-mile radius. It's only picking up Jacksonville, Florida. That's 134 miles away from Orlando, Florida. And there's only 3 loads showing right now on the load board. And the rates don't look good at all. All right, let's jump over to San Antonio, Texas. Right now, within a 150-mile radius, there's only 1 load showing up on the load board. And it's only 10 miles a day ahead to pick up that load. Picking up out of San Antonio, and that's going 245 miles to McAllen, Texas at $1.56 a mile. All right. So let's jump over to Portland, Oregon. Now, within a 150-mile radius of Portland, Oregon, we have 486 loads that are available. 13 miles a day ahead, 3.7 miles a day ahead right here. Most of this is picking up right there in Portland, not far from where, I'm not sure where we're at in Portland, but this is only 3 miles. This Amazon is 3 miles. Look at some of the rates over here. Like this is the time where where you pay attention, because these are what the loads really look like in those locations. Outside of any spikes, peaks, or anything like that, any holidays, any prime days, it's just typically generally what the loads would look like in those locations, unless there's an increase in volume, at whatever time. All right, so that's Portland. All right, so next up we have Sacramento, California. Right now we're showing 144 loads within the 200-mile radius. Tracy, California is popping up. I believe we seen them earlier. Stockton, California, 47 miles away. 28 miles in Vacaville, California. Stockton again. Reno. So you can see what the rates are looking like right now. They're not looking good at all out there. At all, unless you're going one way. unless you're going one way. But we got a load count of 144 showing right now. All right, let's go over to East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 305 loads are showing up out there in that location. Picking up Cleveland, Ohio, Twinsburg, Ohio. That's 105 miles a deadhead going in that direction. See what the rates are looking like. 13 miles, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 305 loads for that location. Scroll through some of these. All right, so next we have Las Vegas, Nevada. 20 loads showing up within a 200-mile radius. 13 miles, Las Vegas, 188 miles deadhead. 9 miles deadhead here. Woof, 745 miles deadhead. What part of Las Vegas is that? That is crazy. Is that a typo? That might be right. I don't know. Anyway, we can see what the rates are looking like over here. What the rate per miles look like. Here's one here. Let's go over here to Cincinnati, Ohio. Within a 150-mile radius, we got 402 loads showing up for Cincinnati, Ohio. 84, 16 miles of deadhead. Erlanger, Kentucky. And as you can see, as I'm doing Ohio, a lot of these places are so close together. That's why when you heard me mention in the other video, you heard me say how I was bouncing back and forth from Ohio to Kentucky. Just ping-ponging back and forth, running Amazon while I was out there OTR for those 3 weeks. That comes from paying attention to the load board. All right, so 12 miles, Hebron, Kentucky. Y'all see me pop up in Hebron, Kentucky. Yes, sir. So, right now, 400 loads showing coming out of that area or within a 150-mile radius. All right. Last but not least, we got Austin, Texas. I got that set within a 150-mile radius. Right now, deadhead showing 68 miles, 32 miles, and 91 miles coming out of San Antonio, San Marcos, Texas, and Waco, Texas. And they got some pretty good trip miles on them. And as you can see, $1.76, $1.73, $1.57 coming out of, if I was in that area, I would only be paying these attention if I was just going in one direction, you know, just trying to make my way back to wherever I'm going. That's the only way these loads right here would make sense for me, for my business. That's going to be it for the top 30 U.S. metropolitan locations running Amazon Relay. That could be 53 footers. That could be box trucks. I didn't see a lot of 16-foot box truck loads on none of these, in none of these loads that we were looking at. I'm not sure if 16-foot box truck work is available right now in those locations. I didn't see any. I definitely checked them off to see if any would pop up. But for the most part, all of those loads were for 26-foot box trucks. Hope you enjoyed it. It's the homie Bigg Vic TV. If you enjoyed this video and you're brand new to starting a box truck business, check out this video right here next, and I'll show you how to get that box truck business started. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's eat.